Hello everyone. So today we're looking through at some of the applications for AI and automation in cybersecurity. One of the first things that we're going to talk about is automating threat detection and response. So this is where some of these open source tools are really coming into their own. A lot of people don't realize that n8n can be used for more than just automating marketing and things like that. Inside n8n, you've got SSH ability, so you can log into other devices. The LLM itself can send commands, and you could actually program it to be able to respond to threats. So what you could also do is you've got things like the Canary Tokens. In the cybersecurity community, it's quite a well-known tool. It's been around for a long time. But outside of it, it's not very well known. It's one of the best tools for small businesses to be able to detect threats, because you can just drop these Canary Tokens around your infrastructure, on your network storage, on users' machines, and it's already got pre-programmed little messages in there to remind you of what it is and where it is. And you can also have a webhook link to it. Now that's where it becomes really powerful, because traditionally people would have just sent it to a particular email address, but things can get missed in email, especially with log overload, logs coming from everywhere, spam, all of that. By the time it actually gets sent through to that email address, it might be in the spam filter might automatically filter it out and you won't see it. Not if you got it linked to a webhook and an automated workflow. You could have a workflow sitting in the background with the webhooks and use one webhook for all of your Canary Tokens. Then as soon as one of them goes off, bang, it then sends you a notification. And what you could also do is you could get it so it does something automatically. So for example, grab the IP address, check against a whitelist, and then add it to a firewall rule, automatically locking the threat out and then sending you a notification. So then that way you can then respond to it straight away. So this then becomes a really powerful tool, because not only have you got these Canary Tokens dropped around all over your infrastructure for a cyber criminal or bad actor to trip over and activate, you can then have automatic responses as well. And you can whitelist particular IP addresses, so then that way you don't accidentally lock yourself out of your own infrastructure. Now, that's just the first of many, many interesting tools that are coming onto the market. So, next example is you've got predictive analytics and preemptive security automations. So, Juniper has been doing a very, very good job. They acquired a AI networking company quite a while ago, and they've been slowly integrating this into their infrastructure. And now they've got a central dashboard, and they've got all the analytics going through there in one place. And it can then do machine learning and actually see problems on your network and anticipate them before they happen. So it's constantly analyzing everything about the performance of your network, including Wi-Fi performance, etc. So it can already be trying to adapt and change the channels if necessary. And if there's a problem, for example, the CEO comes to you and says, "The other day I was having a live stream with, I was having a conference call, and it kept on dropping out in my office." You can just grab the time, you can feed it into the dashboard, and it can go and search through the events to find out exactly why it dropped out at that time. And if it hasn't already fixed it, you can then put in a fix, because everything all goes into a central place rather than having everything spread out. The third thing that is becoming quite big is automated phishing and deepfake detection. So you've got more and more of these attacks being implemented. With AI getting better, the cyber criminals are also using these tools more and more. Pity some of the people that aren't sending marketing emails to try and get me to do SEO on my website. Don't use a bit more AI automation to check whether to personalize those a bit more, because the cyber criminals seem to be personalizing quicker than the marketeers. So, Barracuda Sentinel employs AI-powered domain fraud visibility and protection to detect phishing and deepfake-based email attacks. And its machine learning algorithms can analyze the content and the sender's behavior and the metadata to identify spoofed domains and AI-generated phishing emails. So now the AIs are getting a little bit better at doing what us humans could do in a more automated way. So when that prince that's trying to give away his fortune emails you, the AI can now pick up on it a bit better. So we've got, as number 4, we've got integration of agentic AI and security operations in security operation centers. So in effect, this is being able to chat to your logs and the AI being able to pull things out. Again, this goes back to Juniper networks, what they've been doing, but also on a small scale. If you've got a small business, you don't have to go and invest in all of these large amounts, all these different hardwares. You can implement some of this on a smaller scale. So you can, you can put all your logs into something like Baserow, and then you can then have AI automations to. So I showed an example on my channel. You can have a chatbot that can then look at the logs and go through the logs and pick out information on them. And if you link that with the Canary Tokens, you can then have a whole structure to protect your infrastructure. So you can have inside detection, and then you can also look through the logs if necessary. This also helps you comply with things like GDPR, where you've got really heavy fines if you don't detect threats and data breaches. And if you if you don't detect them in time and report them in time, then you can get fined very heavily. Also, another thing this is good for is insider threats. If you drop these sorts of things around your network, and then an insider starts trying to gather secrets about the company to send it to foreign adversaries or other business adversaries, you can then detect that and you can do something about it. So then we've got defense against AI-powered cyber threats. So you've got AI-driven attacks and malware that is getting more and more advanced. And an example of this would be CrowdStrike Falcon, which uses AI native capabilities and to detect different cyber attacks and reverse engineer the malware. And also by being able to follow it across many different systems across the world, they have economies of scale of being able to detect these things sooner, and then as soon as they find a patch for it, they can roll out the patch across all of them. As we saw when CrowdStrike got breached, that can also be a double-edged sword. Microsoft has also got similar capabilities with Microsoft Defender, but all of these things rely on the patches being rolled out. And there's a lot of businesses out there that aren't very good at patch management. Many things in cybersecurity all come down to the basics: good passwords, good patch management, solid network administration, 3-2-1 rules of storing your data. So 3 copies of the data, two on-site and 1 off-site. And that off-site one potentially should also be a cold storage. So it only comes on every so often, does a backup, and then shuts back down again, and isn't on all the time. And that way, if your 2 on-site backup copies get encrypted by a ransomware, you can just get the off-site backup and roll back. The other thing is you've got more businesses need to be looking at how the sort of things that they back their data up on. If you've got a TrueNAS appliance as your network storage, you don't even have to. As long as you've got good solid passwords and security for the root administrator of the network storage device, you can then just roll back. So the actual data that's on that network storage is snapshotted as well. So even if your 2 copies on site get encrypted with ransomware, you can just go into there and just roll back a few hours, and then everything, and just find where the breach came from and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Seal the breach, roll back, you're back up and running within a day. Unlike if you've got it all on the cloud, on some sort of cloud backup, where you need to try and download possibly terabytes of data from remote servers on a normal high street office connection, which in the UK you might be getting about 100 to 150 megabits a second nowadays with normal office broadband. If it's a normal high street shop, maybe some of them are starting to get towards 500 megabits if you've got some good solid broadband in the area. But as a business, you're usually paying through the nose for decent broadband. So you need to be making sure that you don't need to be reliant on the cloud for all these things. Owning your own infrastructure, owning your AI is the way to go. It saves you the money in the long run. It may be expensive up front, but you're going to save money over time by that infrastructure paying for itself, by not paying all those fees for data flowing over the cloud. Because a lot of people don't realize when they use cloud services like AWS, every megabyte that goes across their network, they're going to charge you for. So if you've got to download all 10 terabytes of data off your cloud storage, they're going to be charging you for all those 10 terabytes. And if that fails halfway through and you have to start again, you're going to be charged for, say, the 5 terabytes that you've already downloaded. This is how companies, through misconfiguring their AWS, can end up with £70,000 bills for just a misconfiguration and sending loads of data up to the cloud. Own your AI, own your infrastructure. It will save you money, and it will make your company more successful in the long run. All the best. Like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to donate to the channel to keep it going, then there's links in the description. If you'd like any consultancy or help with automating your business, then check out the company's website and email me, and I can work with you to automate parts of your business and automate security to keep your business secure and safe. Part of my background in also comes from IT infrastructure as well. So as well as doing automations, I also have knowledge in the IT infrastructure side as well. So you can use the AI as well as automating your business to automate looking after the infrastructure that runs that business. All the best. Thank you for watching.